Monopoly is supposed to be a simple game. A board, some fake money, a few plastic houses, friends or family sitting around a table, laughing, joking, rolling dice. At least, that's how it starts. But if you have ever played Monopoly long enough, you may have noticed something strange. People begin to change. The friendly person suddenly becomes aggressive. The relaxed player becomes extremely competitive. Someone who was joking 5 minutes ago now refuses to make a fair deal. And slowly, the atmosphere changes. It stops feeling like a game and starts feeling like a battle. Which raises an interesting question. Does Monopoly make people greedy, or does it simply reveal what was already there? Today, we are going to look at 3 signs that show how a simple board game can expose the hidden side of human nature. And by the end of this video, you might start seeing Monopoly in a completely different way. Sign number 1, wanting the game to continue only when winning. There's a very subtle moment in Monopoly that most people don't pay attention to. It happens when the game is already decided. One player clearly dominates the board. They own most of the properties. They control the flow of money, and everyone else is just surviving. At this point, the game is technically over, but something interesting happens. Instead of ending the game and starting a new one, the winning player often says, "Let's keep going." Not because the game is still competitive, but because they are enjoying their position. They are enjoying the control, the dominance, the certainty that they cannot lose. And this reveals a deeper mindset. For some people, winning once is not enough. They don't just want to win, they want to stay in power. They want to extend the game as long as they are on top. But the moment they start losing, suddenly, they are the first to suggest restarting. This behavior mirrors something much bigger in real life. It reflects what we call a dynasty mindset. A mindset where someone doesn't just want success, they want permanent control. They create systems that benefit them. They protect their position. They shape the rules in a way that keeps them winning. Not just today, but continuously. And this is where the danger lies. Because when someone becomes too comfortable at the top, they stop caring about fairness. They stop thinking about balance. They stop seeing others as equal players. Instead, everything becomes about maintaining their advantage. And the scariest part? Most people don't even realize they're doing it. Because in their mind, it feels justified. I worked for this. I earned this position. So I deserve to stay here. But if we are being honest, a fair game is not about staying on top forever. A fair game allows everyone to have a chance again. So, the next time you play Monopoly, pay attention to this moment, when someone is clearly winning and the option to restart appears. Do they choose fairness, or do they choose to extend their power? Because sometimes, it's not about the game anymore. It's about who they become when they have the ability to rule. Sign number 2. Manipulating the game when no one is watching. There is a very subtle moment in Monopoly that most people overlook. It happens when someone lands on a property and has to pay rent. Normally, the process is simple. Check the card, see the rent value, pay the amount. But in some situations, people don't check. They trust. They assume their friend will say the correct number. And this is where something interesting happens. Some players take advantage of that trust. They look at the card, pause for a moment, and then say a number slightly higher than it should be. Not too obvious, just enough that no one questions it. And because the game is moving fast, because everyone is focused on their own strategy, no one double checks. The payment goes through, and the game continues. But in that small moment, something very important is revealed. Because this is no longer about the game. This is about what someone does when they have the opportunity to gain more, without being noticed. There is no pressure. No one is forcing them. No one is watching closely. And yet, they choose to take more than they should. Why? Because they know they can get away with it. And that's the key point. Some people only play fair when they are being watched, but when the situation allows it, they quietly bend the rules. They justify it in their mind. It's just a small difference. It doesn't really matter. But these small actions reveal something deeper. Integrity is not tested when everything is clear and controlled. Integrity is tested in moments like this, and greedy people don't care about integrity when it comes to something that benefits them. Sign number 3. Winning becomes more important than fun. There is a moment in Monopoly where someone lands on a property and they simply cannot afford it. The rent is too high. Their money is not enough. And now they are forced into a difficult situation. They can sell assets, trade properties, or give up everything they have. This is where two types of players clearly appear. The first type looks at the situation and chooses balance. They might say, just give me all your cash, keep your properties. Why? Because they want the game to continue. They want the tension. They want the comeback. They want the experience to stay alive. For them, Monopoly is still a game. But the second type of player sees the exact same situation very differently. They don't negotiate. They don't hold back. They don't consider the experience of others. Instead, they say, no, I want everything. All the money, all the properties, everything the other player owns. In that moment, they eliminate the player completely. And while it may look like a smart move in the game, it reflects a certain mindset in real life. To take everything when given the opportunity. To leave no room for others to recover. And the difference between these two types of players is very important. One plays to experience the game, the other plays to end the game as quickly as possible. One values the journey, the other values the outcome. So the next time someone lands on your property, and they can't afford to pay, watch closely. Do you give them a chance to stay in the game, or do you take everything they have? Because that decision says more about you than the game ever will. Conclusion. So here is the interesting truth about Monopoly. The game itself is not the problem. It's just a board, some dice, and fake money. But under the right conditions, a simple game can reveal something powerful about human nature. It's not just a game, it's a mirror that reflects how people think, how they act, and who they become when given power, opportunity, and freedom. Some people play for fun, some people play for competition, and some people play to dominate. Monopoly doesn't create greed. It simply creates a situation where greed can appear without consequences. And when that happens, people often show a side of themselves they didn't even know existed. So the next time you sit down to play Monopoly with friends or family, watch carefully. Not just the board, but the players. Because sometimes, a simple game can reveal who people truly are.